Hello everyone, it's Kieran with Thrifted Living. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Today I am really excited to be sharing a different type of video with you all, and I'm actually hosting a collaboration here on YouTube. As many of you know, in addition to YouTube, I am a full-time teacher, and I wanted to host a collaboration that is near and dear to my heart, something that's really important to me and something that I have struggled a lot with in the past, and that is the back to school time. Now I know that I share a lot of videos about back to school hauls and shop with me's, and I will link those above in case you'd like to see those. But on a personal note, I do struggle with the back to school time. It is a time that is both exciting for me and stressful and like anxiety inducing. Over my years of teaching, I have developed some hacks and some ways to kind of help me get through that back to school time. So I decided to invite some of my favorite teacher YouTubers to share in this collaboration with me. Since I've developed several hacks to get me through that back to school time, I knew that other teachers would have as well. So I contacted some of my favorite teacher YouTubers and asked them to participate in this collaboration with me. So today we are going to be sharing with you some of our favorite hacks for back to school time. The theme of back to school hacks could really pertain to anything. It could be systems that you do in your classroom or systems that you do in your home, just things that help you get through that difficult back to school transition time. And before I share my hacks, I want you to know that I have included a playlist below with all of the other YouTubers that are participating in this collaboration. I highly recommend that you go check all of them out. They have a ton of wonderful ideas, and please make sure you subscribe to their channel because in addition to this hack video, they share a ton of great content about teaching and classrooms and organization and everything, so please make sure you subscribe to their channels. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kieran. I'm an elementary English as a new language teacher, and here on my YouTube I love to share videos about education, but I also love to share videos about thrifting and DIY and upcycling and garage sailing, just to name a few. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, or you'd like to see some videos about thrifting, please make sure you hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any of my new videos. As a little bit of background about my position, as I said earlier, I teach English as a new language, kindergarten through 5th grade, and in many other states that's referred to as ESL, English as a second language. So I have a different daily schedule and a different setup than many teachers. I'm not a classroom teacher. I do have my own classroom and I do work with students within my classroom, but I also travel. So half of my day is spent traveling and the other half of my day is spent within my classroom. But I could definitely do another whole video on that if you guys would like to know a little more about what the job of an ESL or an ENL teacher is. I could certainly share that with you. Just as a basic idea, I spend about half my day within my classroom and the other half traveling around my school to different classrooms. So I have some notes here on my phone that I'm just going to be referencing just to kind of remind myself of exactly what I wanted to share with you. The back to school hacks that I would like to share with you are all about that difficult transition time between summer and back to school. This time always brings out the anxiety in me. I am a planner, I am an organizer, I like everything laid out, and so when I'm getting ready to go back to school, I try to have everything laid out and I try to have everything organized, but at times it can just become overwhelming to me. So I have narrowed it down to the top 5 things that help me get ready for the new school year. The first tip that I would like to give you is to be patient. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your family, be patient with your students. More likely than not, things are not going to go perfectly on your first day. It is going to be a learning process from the time you walk in on your first day until you retire. You are always going to be learning something new every single day, every single class, every single year. You are always going to be learning something new. In my opinion, it is unrealistic to expect perfection. It just is. And I'm mostly saying that to myself because I expect perfection and I leave myself very little room for error. And to be quite honest, that causes me a lot of stress and anxiety in my professional career and a little bit in my personal life as well. I expect perfection from myself all the time and I give myself very little room to learn. I will always learn, but I don't allow myself to just learn naturally. I get upset if I make a mistake after learning something new, and I don't really give myself a full amount of time to really learn something. So that being said, be patient with yourself. Know that you are going to learn everything. I promise you that during that first year, you are going to have moments when you feel like you don't know anything, and then the next day you're going to come in and you all of a sudden know everything, or you know things that you didn't know the day before. It is going to all work out, I promise you. In addition to being patient with yourself, be patient with your students. They're starting a new grade, they're starting a new class. In my case, they're coming from other countries, they're not speaking English, and patience and understanding is what they need at this time. Don't forget that they're kids and they're in a new situation, and so if they don't get a routine right away, or if they get confused or they act out because they are confused, be patient with them, and use every moment that you have as a teachable moment. In addition to having patience with yourself and your students, have patience with your family as well. I know that during back to school time, I can kind of get stressed out, and I know that kind of rubs off on my husband. Being patient with him, getting used to my schedule and the way we do things in our home is important as well. The second hack that I would like to share with you is to be prepared. Now, you can't be prepared for absolutely everything. That's something that I have learned, and that's something that I've had to deal with over the years, is just realizing that I can just do my absolute best to be prepared. Now that I've been teaching for several years, I have a better idea of what to expect. But I know that I won't be perfectly prepared, but I know the things that I really should do to be able to feel successful and to be able to feel accomplished on that first day going back. Some of the things that I do to prepare are to make sure my classroom is ready as it can be. In my situation, it is a little different because I don't get a class list per se. I do get a roster, but it depends on how many students enter, and kids can be entering, you know, all the time. So I don't know exactly how many students I will have. So for me, it's just making sure that my classroom is set up, that I have my resources already and laid out, and making sure that I'm adjusting any organizational systems that maybe aren't working in my classroom, or any seating situations that aren't really working in my classroom. Another way that I prepare is to look back at our units of study in our ENL curriculum, and that just helps me organize my brain and remember exactly what content I need to be teaching and when. And the last part about being prepared is preparing your home. Now, this is an area that I struggle with. I feel that if my home isn't perfectly clean, perfectly organized, everything that I wanted to get done with it has been done, then I start to feel like a failure, and that's something that I need to really work on, because I'm not a failure. I'm working very hard to make sure everything is ready to go. I get really stressed out if I feel that my house is out of order. I like to make sure that any projects that I've done over the summer are complete. So probably within like the next 2 weeks, I will stop creating new projects in our home, and I will just finish up everything that I have done now. In my opinion, there's nothing worse than going back to school and feeling like you still have 15 projects out in the open and not done, because then it just makes you feel like, why am I not getting things done? In addition, my husband and I like to share the responsibilities in our home, so I kind of remind him and he kind of reminds me of what he does versus what I do. Things like who makes the bed, who takes out the garbage, unloading the dishwasher, that kind of stuff, just to make the transition back to me working full-time a little easier. And that home piece kind of leads into my next hack, which is meal prep. I love meal prep, and it's something that has really helped me over the past few years. What I like to do is I like to prepare my meals on Sunday and then have them ready to go for the rest of the week. That is something that works really well for me. I like to sleep really late in the morning, and it's really bad, but I sleep until 7 every morning. Pretty much I just roll out of bed, grab something for breakfast, and then get ready and grab my lunch and head out the door. So meal prep is really important to me. It just makes my morning so much less stressful. On the rare occasion that I don't make my lunch in advance, I find that packing my lunch is so stressful because I either never have what I need or I don't know what I want. And more often than not, when I don't have my meal packed is when I have a vending machine lunch, and that is not good for any teacher. You cannot live off of Ritz crackers and seltzer, okay? Like, it just doesn't work. I'm the type of person that I need to eat lunch. Often when I'm traveling to different classes, I'll keep a snack in my little teacher cart, because sometimes during the day, I'm all of a sudden like ravenous. Like, I'm so incredibly hungry. So I will often carry a snack with me. That's another tip. Make sure you have snacks so you don't fall over while you're teaching. So meal prep is something that's really important to me, not only for lunch, but also for breakfast and dinner. I find that those mornings when I have my lunch packed and maybe I have like overnight oats in the fridge, it's just like such an easy morning, because then I just grab my breakfast, eat it quickly while I'm getting ready, watch some YouTube videos. Sometimes I also need to post videos in the morning. Having breakfast and lunch ready just make my morning so much easier. And in addition, when I can have like a crock pot meal going all day for dinner, it's like the best day ever. You don't even understand. So if I can tackle the food aspect of my day in advance, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday, just getting everything done, it's super helpful for me. So working on meal prep is something that really helps me transition back to school much more easily. The next tip that I would like to share with you is adjusting your sleep schedule. I cannot tell you how important it is to do this in advance. So for me right now, my sleep schedule is horrible. I am staying up until 12, 1, 2 a couple times, and I'm sleeping until like 8 or 9 or 10. It's not good, I know, but I just like staying up late. And my husband works later, so it's that time in the evening when we can spend time together and talk, and I just don't want to miss any of that. And also, I know that I can sleep in, so I am staying up a lot later. So one thing I'm going to be doing is transitioning myself back to an earlier sleep schedule. During the school year, I like to be in bed by 10 and wake up at 7. I don't always do that, but I always try my best to do that. Focusing on sleep and transitioning your sleep back to your school schedule earlier earlier than the day before is really important, and that's something I'm going to be focusing on. And the last hack that I would like to share with you for that transitional time back to school is to have fun and enjoy the moment. I have a special situation with my students where my students entered the English as a new language program. Sometimes they're in the program for a few years. So I have a unique situation with my students where I get to see them as little itty bitty babies, and then I get to watch them grow into middle school kids. And I love to savor every single moment that I have with my students. They are like family to me. Their families are like family to me. So what I like to do in those first few days is to really savor the time that I have with them again and really enjoy that like back to school feeling with them, that feeling of hope and that feeling of excitement, and getting to know each other once again, getting to know each other's sense of humor, and really accommodating them and their work ethic, having patience with them, know that they just came off of summer break and that their brains are in a different place right now, and just being patient with them, really enjoying those moments. I know that I look back fondly on my first days of school as a child, and I want to be able to provide that opportunity for my kids to have fond memories, to have enjoyable memories, and for me, getting acquainted again with those students that are like family to me and I'm like family to them, and seeing how they've grown and seeing how they've learned. Just enjoy that time. And this next part is specifically for those first year teachers. Just soak everything up and really enjoy every moment that you have. You will only have one chance to be able to experience your first time teaching, your first time having your own classroom, and those are going to be things that you remember for the rest of your career. And really just soak it up, really enjoy it. You have worked really hard to be here right now, and you deserve to have the best experience possible. Now, I'm not saying that it is going to be perfect. It's probably not going to be perfect, but only you can make good out of any situation. So if you created some beautiful poster or some beautiful organizing system and it completely fails, oh well, that is the nature of the beast. You are going to take that and learn from it and create something new. And who knows, maybe it'll work for a couple years and then you'll get a new group of students that it doesn't work for. Even after several years of teaching, you are still going to be learning. I am entering my 5th year teaching, and I am still always learning. I still feel like a complete newbie sometimes, but I rely on my school and my district and my colleagues to help me get through it, and we are all learning together, and we are all doing this for the right reasons. We're doing this to educate our future and to provide the absolute best education that we can to them and the best experiences that we can to them. You can't lose. It is going to be a great experience. You are going to have a blast. You are going to make an impact on a child's life. I mean, that's incredible. These students are going to remember you for the rest of their lives. That in itself is amazing. So relish in the fact that you are going to have a positive impact on a student's life. Enjoy every single moment of this year, the good and the bad. You are going to learn from both, and just enjoy yourself. It's okay to feel stressed out. It is a huge adjustment, but you will get through it. One piece of advice that I can give you is that if you do begin to feel like that, make sure you talk to someone. Every single person that's in that building with you as a teacher has been in that position before, has been where you are right now, and talk to someone. Let them know how you're feeling and let them know what you're struggling with, and I guarantee that they will be able to give you tips that you can implement the next day to create change in your classroom. In addition to the community that you have within your school, you also have a community here on YouTube. Feel free to ask me any questions, and that's it for my top 5 back to school hacks. I hope you enjoyed learning some of the things that I do to help me transition into that back to school time. It can be very stressful. It is probably going to be very stressful, but it is so much fun, and it is so worth it to be able to work with these amazing students. I have the best job in the world. I get to work with kids every single day. I get to watch them learn. I get to watch them grow. I get to interact with them every single day. I feel like I couldn't be any luckier than I am now to be in the district that I'm in, to be able to work with my colleagues, and to be able to work with these amazing students. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my hacks for back to school, and please make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. And as soon as you're done watching my video, please make sure you click that playlist that I have included below and check out all of the other teacher YouTubers that have participated in this collaboration. I know that you are going to love what they have to share. I also like to share stories on my blog about my students and my teaching experiences, so please make sure you check out my blog at thriftedlivingblog.com. Please follow me on Instagram at thriftedliving, where you can see my thrifted teacher outfits of the day. I love to share my outfits for school Monday through Friday that I get at the thrift store. And if you don't have an Instagram but would like to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can follow me on Facebook at Thrifted Living page. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!